In the mid-90s, East 17 were one of the biggest bands in Britain. But after 20 hits and 14 million records, they imploded in one of the most acrimonious sagas in pop history.
Something's going to be sorted out. He didn't mean what he said.
Today, 10 years on, and against all odds, they're attempting to stage a reunion in the hope of getting another £1 million record deal. But will the Wild Boys of Walthamstow be able to overcome the bitter legacy of their past?
He's ruined our career. No radio's going to play our songs. No one's getting us on TV.
Piss me off. Wankers.
He was a nightmare. He was totally and utterly unreliable.
That must have been coming for a long time. The geezer don't like me, I don't like him. How you ever meant to get things started and you got shit like that happening, you know what I mean? Every day there's something wrong, you know, there's, oh, I ain't doing this, I ain't doing that. So I've hit him.
There can only be one leader, can't there?
Over a decade ago, pop culture was dominated by the rivalry between two boy bands. The street urchins of East 17 fought squeaky clean Take That for the hearts and minds of teenage girls.
The term boy band, we hated it. We hated it.
Boy bands are like fluffy. We're not fluffy, we're rough, you know what I mean?
No, we're not a fucking boy band. But we was, weren't we? Do you know what I mean? We was.
You had a choice, it was us or Take That, and I think if you chose us, you was A, clued up, better taste in music, and you were right.
During the spring of 2006, East 17's arch rivals Take That staged a triumphant reunion tour. The concert mixed muscle-bound men with pouring rain and was hailed as one of the best reunion gigs in pop history. It left some East London boys pondering.
We probably are coming out because Take That are. Because they are, then we should. Makes sense to you know what I mean? Because we were rivals. You know, it'd be stupid not to, you know what I mean?
But one major problem stood in the way of an East 17 comeback.
Shut your face, right?
The prime movers in the band, Tony Mortimer and Brian Harvey, haven't spoken for 10 years, since East 17 broke up over drugs and money.
It just got out of control. It just got out of control.
I wasn't trying to be a problem, but I just started seeing what was really going on here and how everyone's making money out of us.
Obviously, Tony earned a lot of money because he was a songwriter, but when East 17 ended, I had to sell my house because I couldn't afford the mortgage anymore.
There was a time when I was sitting on an aeroplane with Tony and said to me, how much money you got in the bank? I said, I don't know, about £500. And he sort of laughed and went, oh, I've got 200 grand. And I was just like, oh, all right.
All four members of East 17 still live near where they grew up, but three of them don't carry the trappings of having been in one of Britain's biggest-selling bands. Former plumber Brian Harvey lives at his nan's old house. Since leaving East 17, he's suffered a catalogue of personal disasters, including suicide attempts and a bizarre car accident.
I don't want to end up on a dole queue. I'm fed up with plumbing because I'm doing my own bathroom as it is. I've had enough of that already. And it'd just be good, man, to be a little pop star again for a little while.
John Hendy has gone back to his old job as a roofer. And Terry Coldwell, who lives at his girlfriend's parents' house with new baby Brooke, occasionally works as a club DJ. The odd one out is Tony Mortimer, who made a multi-million-pound fortune from writing East 17 songs. He lives in a massive mock Tudor mansion just a few miles away from the rest of the band. But he hasn't spoken to the other three for 10 years. He took East 17's breakup badly, suffering eating disorders and agoraphobia.
Don't you know we've come too far now just to go try to throw it all away?
Tony is now a member of a spiritualist church and regularly visits a medium. It was his medium who provoked the possibility of reuniting with his ex-bandmates.
Here to stay.
I go to see mediums or a medium anyway because I think it's fantastic and it's so intriguing.
All I can say is won't you stay just one more day?
I asked the question, will I ever perform again? She said, yes, I see you on stage and there's 4 of you and you're performing. That was last March.
Go away. Don't think I can take the pain.
Tony hasn't ever said anything to me about a prediction or any mediums or anything to speak to him, but I know he's a very spiritual sort of person. All of us reforming again, I just thought, oh, Tony's skin.
Stay another day.
Tony's been talking to a medium, but not to his former friends. Bizarrely, it's taken the help of an East 17 website for them to get through to Tony.
I opened up the paper and I see Tony in there saying we'll play another day, and I thought, bloody hell, like, couldn't believe it, you know what I mean? And there was a girl called Amy from Australia who'd set up a website called E17 Mania, and I heard she was in contact with Tony. Tony emailed her and stuff, so I joined the website. And I give her my number and said, like, if you get in contact with Tony, could you please tell him to ring me? I'd like to know if it's the truth in the paper or if it ain't. And, yeah, so 4 weeks later, I got a phone call from Tony saying hello, and, yeah, it's true, like, he'd like to do some stuff again, and that's how it all happened, really.
Four weeks after a series of phone calls between the band, they agree to meet in a rehearsal room. It's the first time they've all been in a studio together since Tony sacked Brian from the band a decade ago.
When the 4 of us are there, there is no problems. We don't have any problems. They kind of go on when we've all come apart and everyone else is talking. Do you know what I mean? I think between us 4, I think we're all right, you know what I mean? We're all right. No, I think it's wicked, mate. I think, what a laugh, eh? Do you know what I mean? Another go, all over again. It'd be funny. We're coming for you, Tate. We're coming for you. There's a lot of work to do vocally and that. I want to hear what all the BVs are doing and all the different tracks.
Yeah, you go.
Right.
Yeah.
How you doing, mate? You
Good.
I hadn't spoke to the guys since 1997, all of us together, so we all had to get back and sit in a room together, you know, see how it was, which went really smoothly, to be honest.
So no warm-up then? straight into a filmed...
Someone to Love sounds good.
Does it?
Do you want to play it to him? Yeah. Because John, we've got John on a bit and that as well. Do you want to just run that little mid-late bit of the Someone to Love?
He's got 3 cups.
Nice little bit, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like it.
What song's that?
That's Thunder.
Less than an hour into the reunion, and tensions seem to have thawed. But there are some from the bad old days who aren't convinced the thaw will last.
Tony loathed and detested Brian. He wouldn't even travel in the same car with them to going to interviews and gigs. So that's why I was surprised that Tony tolerated, you know, the idea of a possible reunion. I thought that was really odd. All the young mums that were little girls throwing their knickers on the stage, they'll be very disappointed when they see how they've aged and they don't have all that kind of youthfulness and those sexy bodies that they had. I think they'll be a little disappointed.
We used to be big fans when we was little. and we couldn't wait to come again. East 17 all the way.
How long have I got left before I got signed on?
It's really alright. Thank you.
It's been 10 years since East 17 split up in one of the most bitter bust-ups in pop history. Amazingly, they now seem to be the best of friends, and are today happily planning their reunion gig.
Guess who just got back today? Them wild-eyed boys that had been away.
They're desperate to reclaim their glory days, but can they ever really escape the ghosts of their past? The bitterness between the two main forces of East 17 stems back to a feud between Tony and the management and Brian.
He was a nightmare. I mean, I cannot explain to you that he was totally and utterly unreliable.
It was a fucking nightmare. Certain people got comfortable with looking the part, acting the part, and forgot about being the part.
In 1997, Brian gave a radio interview telling the nation about the virtues of the drug ecstasy. The fallout was devastating for East 17.
I've done pills myself. I've done 12 one night, you know what I mean? Loads of them. I've been off it on them, do you know what I mean? If it brings out the better in someone, and really in the long run, it's a safe pill and it ain't doing you no harm, I don't see the problem.
I said that thing in that interview at Top of the Pops. I must have done that 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. From 5:30 that morning, I was public enemy #1. I was asleep for a few hours and I didn't even fucking know it.
We had some dreadful remarks from Mr. Brian Harvey of East 17.
I would certainly regard any comments of that sort as wholly wrong.
Oh, it's wholly wrong that Brian Harvey from East 17 is mentioning about ecstasy is good for you.
And I heard it as I was coming down the stairs. I was thinking, oh my God, do you know what I mean? What is going on?
When the papers put a spin on the story, coupling Brian's comments with Leah Bett's death from ecstasy nearly 2 years earlier, the media rushed to be outraged.
Everyone hated me. The management made it look like he's got to go, he's ruined everything for you, you've been banned everywhere, no one's playing your records again, he's fucked it for you, you need to get rid of him now if we're going to save this.
Basically, all the radio stations are smashing up our songs on air. I remember that. Yeah, we're smashed up, we're never playing East 17 songs again, I remember that, all the major stations.
Phone call from Tony, we got to sack Brian, he's ruined our career, no radio's going to play our songs, no one's getting us on TV, got contracts written up, you've got to sack Brian, blah, blah, blah.
A letter sacking Brian had been drawn up by Tony and Tom and was presented to John and Terry as a fait accompli.
He didn't mean what he said.
Do you think he's going to come back to the group? Is that what he said?
No comment. Whole truth of the matter is, me and John, in the group, because we was in the background, we never had a say on anything, and that's the honest truth. So we just had to sign it anyway.
I see Tony's autograph on now, then I see Terry's autograph.
Are you still speaking to Brian?
I was thinking, oh, everyone signed it. I've got to sign it, really.
It was awful for John, because he fought for him. He was like, well, no, I'm not signing it. How can you can't do this, you can't do that. And in the end, John was threatened so much that he didn't have a choice. He didn't have a choice because he had his wife and he had his baby. That, you know, he was pushed into a corner where he had to sign it. Brian was our neighbour as well. He lived round the corner. We was number 2, he was number 5.
Bang, bang on the door. Opened up the door. Brian's come rushing in. Whoa, what's this? Whoa, you lot go and sack me, blah, blah.
I said, how can you fucking sign me out of the band? What the fuck's wrong with you lot? What's going on?
Good riddance to bad rubbish. I mean, it was. I mean, and again, and I think I welcomed it because I knew how bad Tony was feeling.
Me and Terry was just adamant we got to have him back. And then we got Brian back, and a week later, me and Terry received letters through our door. Tony's resigned. It was like, oh, what's going on?
I left. Just had enough of everything. And it was just time to move on.
Despite a decade of animosity, Remarkably, Tony is the one fronting the money for their comeback gig.
The agent said he can't find a promoter that wants to put the show on. So I said, fine, I'll put it on, and how much does it cost to get the tickets made up? And I think it came to, he said, £6,000 or something to get the tickets made up. I said, not a problem, then I'll do it. We're putting on the show.
Because me, Brian and Terry, we didn't have no money, and Tony had some money, so I think Tony's put up majority of the money up front, but then when we sell all the tickets and that, with all the money we get back, that basically goes back to Tony.
I mean, Tony, when he told me, I emailed him and just said, you must be out of your mind. The secret is not to use your own money in these things, in putting this together. But then, you know, each to his own. Tony's not a fool, he has a reason.
Tony is pinning his hopes on getting good press reviews from the gig, which could lead to the all-important record deal.
Everything's riding on this, isn't it? Everything's riding on it. I mean, the reviews in the papers tomorrow are really, if you think about it, they're going to be what take you further. If tomorrow you open the paper and it's like E17 absolutely smashed it, then it's going to be, obviously, there's going to be something else to do. If we open the papers tomorrow and they go, wop, wop, wah, 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 and it's going to be, oh well. How long have I got left before I got signed on?
10 years, a long time. Long time. You forget everything, and you get blasé back then because it's night after night. 10-year gap's like doing it all again for the first time at a big level.
It's good that we're all here, we're all experiencing it, we're all older, and it's like we're all getting to be pop stars again for the night.
While pre-gig nerves are running high backstage, outside a crowd is starting to build.
Yeah, it's going to be good, isn't it, Sol? No, it's good, mate, it's good. I mean, how can it be a bad thing, you know what I mean?
To everyone's relief, the gig's sold out, and the queue is made up of die-hard female fans who, like their idols, are trying to recapture the joys of their youth.
We used to be big fans when we was little, and we couldn't wait to come again.
They were so good in their day, and I really hope they really enjoy it tonight for them as well as all the fans.
I used to like them a lot when I was younger, obviously, and it's a bit mad seeing now people, you know, like we've got older, obviously, 10 years ago or whatever, and now, you know, seeing people like older and just like coming to support them, and that's quite cool.
E17 all the way.
With a full house and under the scrutiny of the British press, the crucial moment that will make or break East 17's dreams has arrived.
You never know what's going to happen. It could be the last show, it could be the end of something, or it could be the beginning. So, you know, either way.
Everybody in the house of love. Everybody in the house of love. Everybody in the house of love. Everybody, one love, one God. Are you there, Shepherd's Bush? Oh yeah! Let me see the hands.
you. If you'd have bought more records, we might have been about a bit longer. No, I'm joking, I'm joking.
Couldn't hear it, man. I was like that. Was it? Yeah. Listen, that gig went so well, I put Terry Sweaty t-shirt on and enjoyed it. E17 songwriter and de facto leader Tony Mortimer stands on the Shepherd's Bush Empire stage wearing a slightly puzzled expression. Perhaps he's surprised by the cruel irony that allows bandmate Brian Harvey to look virtually unchanged, while Mortimer, a quiet family man, looks pudgedly unrecognisable. The ravages of time visited on Mortimer, and indeed on bandmate Terry Caldwell, who now bears a passing but never less disturbing resemblance to Blakey from On the Buses. Do I look like Blakey? Do I look like Blakey, honestly? Do I look like Blakey? Now, be honest with me. Out of On the Buses. She goes with a chin, innit? Anyway.
The sellout crowd has ensured that Tony recouped most of the money he put up for last night's gig. And the initial feedback from the fans seems to bode well for the future of the reunion.
I went on MySpace and I put on their thanks for coming to the gig and all that, and then they've all replied. For me too, it was the best night I've had in many years. I cried during all the concert. I just wanted to say I was at Shepherd's Bush and what a fantastic night me and my mate Sarah had. It was excellent. I felt 13 again. I did, but stone.
House of Love handles. They put the chav into the charts in the 90s, now 9 years and several excess stones, sorry Tony, since they split. E17's comeback looks certain to be overshadowed by Take That. But they still staged a triumphant 2-hour reunion concert on Tuesday night, belting out their 12 top 10 hits.
The band are hoping the gig's success will help them get a record deal. But while they wait for news, John has gone back to normal life.
If the band thing doesn't pull off, I'm not worried too much because I've got my roofing I can come back to. You know, I'm happy doing this. You know, at the end of the day, I need to do it to feed my family, you know, my mortgage and everything.
They were huge back in the 90s, but there was never a pot of gold at the end of it. So why is there going to be now? I'm a little bit sceptical about it, really. But as long as we don't end up in debt and earn a little bit out of it, it'd be nice to get the mortgage paid for. If the mortgage is paid, then happy days.
I hope a record company gets involved, because you need a record company if you're going to do a big tour. And I think that worked well, and that's probably, see if a record company wants to go with it.
One month after the Shepherd's Bush gig, news filters through to the band that a record company might be interested in re-signing them.
Warner's basically own all their back catalogue, so there'd be a connection there. There'd be an obvious route and an obvious reason for them to be interested. So that kind of makes sense. So we go and meet with those and see what they want to say and see what their plans are, because it's pretty much we've done all we can do and we've taken it as far as we can. So see how they see it.
Tony and Brian have been trying to patch up their differences and record new material.
Do you like that?
But old problems are beginning to resurface.
He's back. Fuck off, wankers!
The record company appointment has been arranged, but Tony's disgruntled because Brian wants some of his own songs, as well as Tony's, played at the meeting.
I'm going to go into a record company, and on Friday, I know Rusty's got some songs that Brian wants played. You know, it's no secret, he's not a big fan of my songs, he never has been. So he's got some songs he wants played that he's had people write for him, so I've got to go in there and, you know, and play them.
Why is it that if I'm in E17 and I'm singing and making music that I'm not really into, that there's a chance that it could work for you, Brian, you know? But if I'm doing R&B or I'm making quality music that I think's quality, that's good music, nah.
The band arranged to meet up, to resolve their growing differences and prepare for the all-important record company meeting. Tony arrived on time, but Brian and the rest of the band were over an hour late. It proved to be the final straw for Tony.
It was a business meeting just to decide kind of what we was going to do, you know, record companies and all the rest of it. Walked into the meeting and Tony was on the roof garden. I walked through to say hello and he come walking straight up to me and I thought he was going to say something funny and he didn't. I just got this bang. I thought, what are you doing? What are you doing? And it was just a fucking shock, man. I thought, what's that about? What is all that about?
He's just done my nutting, so he's walked in and I've gone crack. Well, I didn't. I said, why am I waiting for you? What? So I've hit him.
How you ever meant to get things started and you got shit like that happening, you know what I mean?
It's just 12 weeks into the East 17 reunion, and their hope for the comeback is in dire jeopardy. 24 hours ago, Tony physically assaulted Brian when he arrived late for a band meeting.
He's just done my nutting, so he's walked in and I've gone crack. Well, I didn't. I said, why am I waiting for you? What? So I've hit him.
Tony was just saying, oh, you're mugging me off, you're mugging me off. Why am I waiting here an hour for you? And, you know, we should have all just sat down and he said, look, we should have spoke about it. Why are you late? You know what I mean? Then he would have known that I've had to go round a long way to John's. I was 10 minutes late, you know what I mean?
As soon as that punch connected, mate, that was it for me. That was it for me. You know what I mean? 'Cause I'm not coming to work and fucking getting that. Do you know what I mean?
I just feel like I'm trapped now. I can't see a point in carrying on because no matter whatever we book, he won't turn up and therefore I won't win. It won't work. I won't be happy that way. And then if I walk away, I'll get all that again. And I feel like it's catch-22 a bit.
I can't work with Tony because he seems to take his frustrations out on me or sees me as a problem or something. And all I'm trying to do, I thought we all wanted the same thing, you know what I mean? We're all trying to get to the same place, get a record deal, get the thing off the ground. But when I got that punch yesterday, man, it just occurred to me, do you know what? It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Even if I went back to E17 and became a millionaire overnight, it ain't worth it for that, man.
We'll probably carry on. He'll chirp again and I'll give him another dig.
That's how much the geezer hates me, man. Enough to give me a dig, but then I'm expected to stand there and sing songs and make everyone money. Don't think so.
All in all, though, I think it's looking quite positive. I know it's a bit mad, but I think it's quite positive.
So look, that we're going past the place where it all fucking started. Walthamstow Stadium. Fucking hell. I didn't drive past it on purpose, by the way. It just happened. It began and fucking ended here, mate. That's it. That's the end of E17.
I think it was a long time coming. I mean, I actually hit Brian myself once, but I should imagine half the world at one time or another want to hit Brian. And I think for Tony to wait this long, I was extremely surprised.
Brian and Tony still haven't spoken. John's roofing business suddenly seems a more viable future for him and his family.
If you punch somebody in the face, then apologise. But if you meant it, then don't apologise. So if you didn't apologise, then obviously he meant what he did and isn't sorry for what he did. So you can't really work with people, can you? Like, well, I wouldn't be able to anyway, and I guess Brian felt the same way.
To get Brian back in the band, or for the whole band to be together, I don't know, some miracle has to happen, you know what I mean? Because it's... I don't know, man, Tony ain't even rang him to apologise, you know what I mean? So I think that's out of order, you know what I mean? Shouldn't have hit him anyway, you know, you're meant to move forward. with shit like that happening, you know what I mean? I ain't heard from Tony either since it all happened, and nor has John. You know, I don't know, man. It's stupid because, you know, we could be back up there, and because something stupid like what's happened ain't gonna happen, you know what I mean? What's happened, man? You put an extra O in. Yeah. You meant to say broke.
Tony has spent the past week brooding at his mansion. History seems to be repeating itself. The last time he fell out with the rest of East 17, he became a recluse, an anorexic, and an agoraphobic.
I was probably insane for 5 years. It was very difficult dealing with Tony Mortimer in my head at that point. You know, in a strange way, he had become something I wasn't. You know, yeah. But I had detached myself from him.
It resulted in him becoming very reclusive, and he spent a lot of years just repairing himself.
After leaving East 17, Tony's behaviour was so unusual that the rest of the band attempted their own intervention.
We buzzed for him one day, and it's like there's no answer. But then, like, I thought we know he's in, do you know what I mean? So we jumped up on the wall, like, looking like to see his ass and that. And you could see people walking around in his ass. We thought he's in, do you know what I mean?
There was lights on down there, but no one was answering the buzzer.
So we kept buzzing anyway. He never answered it in the end. And then we went round there the next time we put trees up. She couldn't fucking climb up there.
I got some self-help kind of therapy CDs that kind of help you and give you advice on what to do. I'm now a stronger person than I was then, and I could see my weaknesses, and I think I changed them. And I had to go through madness to find my sanity, but I think I found it.
10 years on, and Tony and Brian are once again not talking. But the record company meeting is still taking place in Brian's absence. Having not spoken to Brian since hitting him, Tony has no idea if he's still even in the band. But he's not planning to bring that up if he can help it.
I'm just enjoying this moment. 5 minutes before I get my ass kicked out the door.
Hello. Hello. Hi, Adam.
How you doing, Adam? Tony,
That's
you
me.
all right?
How you doing? Sorry, it's Richard.
Richard.
Hi. Hi, Dave. Hi. Wait for callers to come down, are we?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I've sorted out the CD player.
Oh, well, is it a crap system? And normally
No, it's all right. It's working. That's the good thing.
Exactly, fantastic.
I was worried in case the CD weren't working.
Oh, they wouldn't read it or something?
Yeah. Yeah.
As top man at Warner Music, Corder Marshall can make or break a band.
How are you? You all right? Yeah.
Tony and his management team are desperate to secure the dream record deal. And thankfully, the record company seem out of date with Brian's movements.
I suppose the first thing is, how's his health?
Well, recovery-wise, fantastic.
Good, good.
Yeah, he's got some scars, though.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And probably a few mental ones.
He's pretty more in love now that he's ever been as well. At least that's probably good for him.
I don't know. Is he at the moment? No.
Oh, okay. I thought she was nursing him and looking after him.
Yeah.
She has been.
I don't know.
Just of late, there's been a bit of friction. I think. But you know, I mean, the thing is, he's focused. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
So, and his voice is back up, and that's one of the things with the reunion concert was really him testing himself as well, see if he can develop.
And he was nervous before the gig, wasn't he?
Because he was unsure at that point whether he could really bang them out like he could before.
Yeah. We've got the best of, sitting there. I haven't really heard any new songs, so it's about the new songs.
Sure, and that's why we're here
There's
today.
a conversation about a new album, but I think all of that's kind of unknown.
Timing.
We wrote that for Shepherd's Bush.
That's classic.
How good's that? The sun is shining,
Cafe Rouge is empty.
Corda likes your song.
Corda like the stuff.
Despite not mentioning the band's fallout, Tony and manager Rusty are keen to spread their optimism to the other members of the band.
Good. Just come out of that meeting at Warner's. Yeah, and that was a really good meeting. Yeah, it was superb, yeah. And Corda, he likes the material that you guys are doing, and, yeah, it's really positive, actually.
He's basically said, OK, let's go for it, and he's got all the sort of marketing ideas and that together, and he said, it's an amber light, and he's just got to go upstairs and speak to those people upstairs, and obviously if they mention E17, then they're all going to go, yay, or woo.
Rusty decides to call Brian for the first time since Tony attacked him.
Ask an answer machine.
Just leave a message. Well, it's kind of the thing to do with an answer machine.
Yeah. Brian, it's Rusty here. Hope you're well, mate. Call me as soon as you get this message. Just come out of the Warner's meeting, and there's lots to talk about. It's really positive, so I want to speak to you. Call me later. Cheers, mate. Bye.
You know, it's
able to change Brian's mind.
Will it change his mind? It may not change him as a person, no.
No, I mean change his mind about leaving the band.
Possibly, if that was his last. I mean, I haven't heard that. So if that's his last thing he's doing, then fine, yeah.
I mean, Brian's not. He hasn't, at least to me per se, he doesn't say, "Oh, I'm leaving the band." He's very upset and he doesn't want to go to work and he doesn't want to be punched out, which we definitely cannot condone. But I think the thing is, it's actually early days too, and there's nothing to talk about until there's something to talk about. We get a record deal, then we'll discuss it at Monsters, and then there's something positive to talk about. So in the band, not in the band, I mean, it's all pretty irrelevant.
Brian spent the days since he was attacked at home in his recording studio, working on his own material. He's aware of the record company meeting, but is adamant about his decision to leave the band.
I just got a text from the Sun, and they know about the kerfuffle. I don't know, it just amazes me how they know. Amazes me how they find out.
With the story breaking in the press, the dreams of fame and fortune from the comeback are ebbing away.
Oh, I'm going to be broke for a little while.
But there might still be one last battle in the boy band.
There's going to be one leader, can't there?
The story of the punch-up has been followed up in the tabloids. John has accidentally revealed that the East 17 comeback is over, leaving Tony infuriated.
I'm really fucked off, as you could imagine, But it said I've been ousted and they've gone off as a threesome and blah-de-blah-de-blah, which was all right. It was humiliating because no one's actually phoned me to tell me to my face, but then I think that describes them. So I'm not an happy bunny about that. But I was really angry with the comment, his heart wasn't in it. I think the whole interview was naivety on John's part, to realise that he's actually chatting to someone from a newspaper and thinking he's not being, how long's he been in the business? But there you go.
Without Tony, the band seemed to be making plans. Tonight, they've arranged a gig in a Colchester nightclub.
Just got to have my jeans in that. It's just me, Brian, Terry, doing about half-hour, 40-minute set. Pretty much... I mean, it's a set that we've always done before, like when we've done loads of butlins and stuff. So it's that sort of set, but without Tony. So it's just the three of us now. If it wasn't for Tony punching Brian, and I think if he could have kept his cool and just went along with it like we all was, then we'd most probably be doing a tour or getting a new album deal, because apparently there's an album deal on the table for us and everything. And that's why I just found it so confusing, because Tony seemed like he really wanted to do it. Do you know what I mean? Otherwise, he wouldn't have come back after 10 years.
God. It's just really frustrating. Not succeeding, you know, I hate it. And I put up with a load of whinging and paid nearly 40 grand putting on the show and a huge PR campaign to shift the tickets and stuff. And it still ain't worked. People still aren't happy, and I'm like...
Does anyone else contribute towards...
What, put their hand in their pocket? You're joking.
Brian and the rest of the band still feel there's a future for East 17.
This is how I have to wash my hair.
I think there's Brian's vision and my vision, and that's always the two kind of polarities, if you like, that are always working against each other. And me, that I don't fit into the band. That's kind of how it feels. I think he's happy on stage in the middle. He's the boss. He does, everyone's doing what he said. And he's happy with that. And so I've just got to hold my hands up, wish them all the best, and I think that's the mature thing to do. There can only be one leader, can't there?
At tonight's show, there won't be a band performing. Brian's loaded up his MP3 player with backing tracks of their greatest hits.
You know, doing little gigs and all that, well, it's good to give you a few £100 for the night, well done, but it kind of strips you of credibility, and it doesn't really allow for you to have a career if you're going to do uncool things like that.
Oh, these gigs come in handy, because it's all nice coming up for Christmas and that, you know? I owe out about 30 grand, so I'm going to be broke for a little while.
I was lucky, I invested my money in property, and then property went up, so... Yeah, no, do I need to work again? No.
Where do we live?
I don't know.
I'm just parking here, mate. Do you know, is there anywhere else to park?
I don't know, just park right up close up on the side there.
Yeah. What do you reckon? Is there no car park?
No?
Right.
Yeah, wasp.
Wooden hog.
Dead fly. All right. See you in a minute. Yeah.
When was the last time we done playback? Can you even remember?
No.
Was that long ago?
We ain't won for years, mate.
Years.
Look.
We're just going to have to work it as best we can. Do you know what I mean? We'll do it anyway. You know, we'll get through it. Oh, for fuck's sake. Where's the yellow lines? Fucking government. Piss me off. Wankers. Council tax, fucking road tax, they fucking get on my nerves.
So is it fair to say then that the East 17 reunion is like officially over?
Well, God, I mean, I don't even want to say yeah, but yeah. You know, yeah. I guess it is, isn't it? I guess it is. Yeah, I guess it is.
Oh, mate, I'm trying to be happy and enthusiastic, but I've just
Yeah, it's getting to that stage where it's too long though, isn't it, man? Do you know what I mean? But we had to come down to do that sound check.
After hanging about for 8 hours and that, you know what I mean? Right, tonight, you know, it's like you get on stage, you've got no choice, you have to wake up.
With the band split into two factions and their dream of a reunion to rival Take That lying in tatters, it seems that East 17's history has...
Let's give a massive Colchester welcome to East 17!
One, two. What's happening, Colchester? Big up your fucking self! Inside! Yeah, come on!
The new series of Ugly Betty will be back next Wednesday night at 9. No, East 17, sorry. Tomorrow night, genetically haired tomfoolery from Russell Brand as he wibbles on about, well, anything really, in Ponderland. Next, age ain't nothing but a number. So's IQ. And neither are important in Age of Love.
Outside is raining, but inside is wet.
Yo, we got some woos.